Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world today. We're getting our Final Fantasy stream started here, and let's see. Yeah, just make sure I've got some stuff here set up correctly. But yeah, we're finally ready to move on with the Shadowbringers story today. First, I'm going to check my squadrons and see what happens here. Hey, we're a success. All right. 2 copies of Contemporary Warfare Offense. And let's go ahead and get this popped up here. Okay. Oh, I know what that's doing. Oh, okay. I think I see what we've got going on here. Let's mute that. That should do it. Alright. Nope, that doesn't do it, does it? I've got a microphone leaking from something. Maybe one of the webcams here. That'll take care of it, I think, for now. Alrighty, well, let's get going here. Let's see, we got a couple level ups on our training there. We'll send these guys off to another mission, I guess. I'll check the chemistry on these folks first. Let's see, they've got some potential new chemistry. All right, got. Oh, it's just a difference between possibly receiving Contemporary Warfare Offense or Magics. Yeah, we got a couple offenses already. Let's go ahead and change that just in case we want to mess with that later. And this one's new chemistry. Well, that's the same thing. We'll pick up some Contemporary Warfare Magics potentially with them. Alright. Let's see, everybody in our main party is at least level 30. What do we need to succeed in that? Yeah, might be able to do that one. Stronghold Recon. We'll let them run with that. And do a comprehensive training for everybody else. Alright, so we got to get over to Mordona, it looks like. And alright, well, let's see. We got our finally got our Reaper command set up how we wanted here too. Let's see. Did I forget one over there on the left hand side? Let me just check my my setup here. Oh yeah, I wanted to believe that's what I wanted to do, is set Plentiful Harvest on this one. There it is. We won't get that for quite a while, but I'm going to go ahead and have my crossbar set up for the rest of the game here, I think. be ready whenever they become available. Alright, well let's get on with the main story. Boy, I'm kind of excited to finally get into this. We spent a lot of time. How many streams did we spend? Three to four streams at least, working on the Shadowbringers, or the Stormblood crafting. And in the offline, what I ended up doing was making sure that the gatherers and our crafters have updated level 70 gear, blue gear from script turn-ins. Still working on some of the tools for crafters, but like I said, I'm doing that offline. Another thing I'm planning on doing offline is going ahead and finally assigning some fashion to this character too. I think we'll come up with some outfits so that we can wear to make it a little more fun while we play through these last two expansions so far. Heading to the survey site, madam? It's on the eastern shore of the lake, and the swiftest way to get there is by boat. Take the boat. Yes, indeed. Let's go. Anyways, how are you doing today? I hope things are going well for you. Let us know down in the chat if you'd like. Tell us what's going on with you. And of course, if you just prefer to lurk and enjoy the story with us, by all means, that's fine too. We're happy to have you here. But we're here to chat and enjoy the game with you if you'd like.
Look how many people there are! Should we get to it then? Pick up anything that seems the least bit device-like, and we'll make ourselves a pile.
Well, if it isn't the hero of the hour, maybe you'll change our look. We've found bugger all without you.
Biggs! Wedge!
Aye, aye. Well, we could hardly say no to a call for aid from the Scions. Jesse called it the chief of some other business. So we'll be working twice as hard to make up for his not being here.
Thrice as hard, even.
Thank you, both of you. I'm sure we'll find that beacon in no time.
I'm not seeing anything out here. Do you reckon you could squeeze in there, Wedge?
And get stuck halfway? No, thank you.
I could try if you like.
Tataru, no! We couldn't ask you to do that.
Oh, I'll be fine. This receptionist is not afraid to get her hands dirty.
Sorry, I meant to say, the scholars haven't finished their preliminary assessment of the site yet, so we're not supposed to venture too far in. What's that you got there? Now that looks promising.
Isn't that the ironworks symbol? Counterfeiters?
Now I have you.
You are right.
What's happening?
Stay with me. Focus on my voice. Let expanse contract. Eon become instant.
Wait, this must be it. The device. Oh, this is supposed to happen.
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Oh, safe journey, warrior of light. Find our friends and bring them home.
For showing me the dawn's light will shine again.
Oh, do not look at me so.
You're slaves to a tyrant! There's no freedom in that!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you!
I must say your spirited accounts always comes in welcome.
We did everything right! Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this!
Your time has not yet come.
From endless dreams I awake. Something vague, yet urgent, calls me to action once more.
Rare to meet someone out here who's not a peddler themselves. What brings you into the wilds this time of night?
What do you mean, this time of night?
Well, if it ain't the oldest joke in the book. Me granddad, God's rest his soul, used to tell that one to the barman at kicking out time. And when, pray tell, did we last have a dark night? You rotten old drunk, you, he'd reply. Over 100 bleeding years ago, that's when. You got that look down to a T. I'd almost think you meant it. Ah, got to you, did they? Poor beggar. That explains it then. Well, I've roads to travel and wares to sell, but you best hurry along to the town nearby. Just head east through the trees and aim for the Shining Tower. You'll find the place soon enough. 'Tis the biggest settlement for malms around. Go on now, friend. They'll take good care of you in the Crystarium.
Dizzying heights it rises, the gleaming spire. Its tip threatening to pierce the blinding canopy. There, it will all begin anew. Between dark and light, the pure and the corrupt. The one true struggle.
Can't ride our chocobo here. Alright. We'll just run. Can sprint though.
Halt! Every face in this city I know. Yours, I do not. This is the threshold of the Crystarium, stranger, and I am its gatekeeper. If you would enter, you will answer my questions. From where do you hail?
Ulda.
Do you take me for a fool? No such place exists. Had you given me an honest answer, I would not have barred your way. We care little here for a person's place of origin. But instead, you chose concealment. And I will not suffer you to pass. That one had eaten. It must have gulped down the whole hand, ring and all.
Whoops.
Everything all right, Captain?
Quite all right, my lord. Just a stray sin-eater, and a weak one at that.
I see. Weak or not, we should be on the lookout for more. But I see you've met my guest. I will escort her to the Crystarium myself, if you've no objections.
Another of your mysterious fronts, is it? I should have known. Very well. I'll inform the others your guest is to be given the run of the city. Pray forgive my less than cordial welcome. May the rest of your stay with us be a pleasant one.
Come with me. I will answer whatever questions you have when we are somewhere more private. Right then, before we plunge into the wheres and wherefores, let me first thank you for answering my summons. I had intended to bring you directly to my personal quarters, but I fear my aim was slightly off. That you are still able to make the crossing unharmed is a great relief. And so, we come to the question of where. The realm in which you now find yourself belongs to one of the 13 reflections, or shards. The first, to be precise, even if its inhabitants are largely oblivious to the fact. As to wherefore, having been awarded the rather grandiose title of Crystal Exarch, I, in my capacity as caretaker of the Crystarium, thought to seek the aid of you and your companions.
Are the other Scions here?
That is a question with no simple answer. But all shall be explained in due course, I promise you. Let us begin with the glaring skies up above. Here in the first, the world has been all but consumed by primordial light. It began a century ago, by this realm's reckoning. A luminous flood swallowing everything in its path. More than 9/10 of this star was lost. And the fortunate few who survived are hounded by abominations born of that catastrophe even now. Sin-eaters, we call them. The creature you saw earlier was one such monstrosity. It was to save the first from this menace that I learned to bridge the rift between worlds. That I might call upon the aid of the greatest of heroes. And though it meant depriving a world of its champion, I had to try, For in saving the first, you would bring salvation to the source as well. But what manner of host harangues his guests in the middle of the road? Let us continue our talk within the Crystarium.
Such a proud and vibrant city. The sole sanctuary for the living in a world all but resigned to oblivion. Each stone was laid with hope. The town itself a symbol, a monument to defiance in the face of death. No would-be hero could fail to answer its call. For who among us does not yearn for salvation?
And here we are. Welcome, my friend, to the Crystarium. Whatever we're getting for gear probably will not be anywhere near 385. Nowhere near what we currently want. Oh, maybe it's a duplicate. Yep, we got a duplicate weapon. Alright. I could have gotten a dancer weapon, maybe. Oh, well. Now, a full and frank discussion in the privacy of my study would seem to be in order. But I think our conversation would be more meaningful were you first to gain a firmer grasp of the situation here. To that end, I would like you to visit a few of the Crystarium's civic leaders and glean something of this world and its predicament. As you can see, this path will take you directly to the Aetheryte, a convenience with which I'm sure you are only too familiar. Being the rightful object of my summoning spell, you should in theory be able to reach all the way back along your etheric trail and find a connection in the source, believe it or not. I strongly suggest you complete this attunement before venturing any further. After you've done so, walk up the steps next to the Aetheryte and head out to the left to arrive in the crystalline mean. This is where you'll find our collective of crafters and gatherers, as well as their spokeswoman, Catelys, one of the people I should like you to meet. Another is Morin. To reach him and his Cabinet of Curiosity, you'll want to avoid the aforementioned steps, take the exit on the left, and simply continue straight along and down until you come to the large doors at the end of the path. The third and final person I should like you to meet is Bragi, our man in charge of trade and distribution. He is to be found in the markets, which you can access from the opposite side of the Aetheryte Plaza. In seeking out each of my colleagues, you will visit the major districts of the city and hopefully gain a feel for the place. I trust my directions were simple enough. Crystal clear. Ha 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 ha. Ha, very good. I concede the layout of the Crystarium owes more to historic necessity than planning, but I'm sure you'll learn its twists and turns before long. In all honesty, the true challenge may be in finding the right way to approach its citizens. As you discovered during your encounter with the captain, the people of this world are unaware of the existence of other stars and will struggle to accept the truth of your origin. That being the case, when they ask whence you hail, as they inevitably will, I suggest you claim to share a homeland with the Crystal Exarch. There is an unspoken rule here about peering too deeply into that particular mystery. When you've finished making the rounds, pray meet me in the large courtyard at the center of town. Until then, start picking up Ethernet shards along the way too. By focusing your senses, you detect the flow of vastly distant currents of ether. Your connection to these energies is faint but stable and should allow teleportation to etherites in the source. Awesome. All right, let's set this as a favored destination then. Let's dump, let's see, which one are we going to dump here? We will dump Limsa. And I think I will head over here to Braggy first. Or actually, maybe I'll grab a couple. Another etherite here. New to the city, friend? The spinning head and wide eyes give you away. Welcome. My name is Braggy, and I'm the master of these markets. They gave the district another official title, but I'm not in the habit of using it. Too florid by half. In any case, our merchants stock a range of equipment for humans such as yourself, so finding something in your size shouldn't be a problem. I'm sorry, did you say Humes? Something wrong? Let's see if we can straighten this out. See those two in front of us? The shorter one is a hume, like you. And the taller one is an elf. That sturdy individual over there is a Galgent, whilst the one with the horns is a Drawn. And then you have the large, scaly chaps with long tails and a knack for raising livestock. Those would be the Zune. Which is apparently not the name you know them by. Now I'm curious to know which far-flung region you hail from. Ah, the same as the Exarch, eh? Well, that explains it. Yeah, attack chicken, we made it to Shadowbringers. I know, don't you love this soundtrack and this expansion? I was thinking when I got into this one finally, this feels like home, really. Even though, you know, they've got the new Endwalker and everything, for some reason this expansion just feels like the place to be for me. So I'm really so happy we got into it today. How are you doing today? You don't get much farther flung than that. We've had a few of your lot pass through in recent years, and despite their obvious learning, they floundered over the simplest things. But not to worry. Should you find yourself confused by the local language or customs, I'll be here to answer your questions. And that taught me about the peoples of the first. Gotcha. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, just kick back, enjoy the atmosphere with us. We're happy to have you hanging out with us today. Thank you. Excuse me, miss. Are you recently come to the city, perchance? I'm quite familiar with our civic roles, you see, and, well, What I mean to ask is, have you brought any books with you? A rumpled scroll even? A scrap of scribbled on parchment? My apologies. Literature is something of an obsession of mine, as well as a profession. Librarian Morin at your service, and this humble collection is known as the Cabinet of Curiosity. As your powers of perception have likely informed you, my colleagues and I are responsible for curating all manner of tomes, documents, and other vehicles for the written word. As horrific as the loss of life and land wrought by the flood unquestionably was, the damage to recorded knowledge was no less catastrophic. We few do all we can to preserve what wisdom survived. But tell me, what brings you to the cabinet today? Looking for any title in particular? Mayhap a spot of academic research? Oh, so you've an interest in modern history. Splendid. A thorough review of recent events can often yield novel perspectives, I quite agree. If you would prefer something visual to accompany the account, then I think I have an illustrated history book for children somewhere. Just a moment, and I'll fetch it for you. And here we are. Would you like to pull up a chair? Make yourself more comfortable? On with the lesson then. A 100 years ago, or near enough not to matter, villains known as the Warriors of Light slew the Shadowkeeper, the Steward of Darkness. In the wake of this tainted deed, light began to pour into the world as if from unseen cracks. It pooled and swelled without cease, until the day an enormous blinding wave rose up and swept across our star. We call this calamity the Flood of Light. Everything it touched was leached of life and vigor, leaving naught behind but a luminous wasteland. Yet, just when it seemed that all would be lost, a savior appeared before us, the Oracle of Light. She stood twixt us and approaching doom, and by her power did she stay the flood. Thus was Norvrant, and Norvrant alone, spared the fate of erasure. Tragedy would, however, arrive in another form. From the blasted emptiness descended horrors of strange and terrible aspect to bedevil the few folk who survived. These sin-eaters were light incarnate, and their fulgent presence stole the night from Norvrant's sky. Even now they circle the remaining bastions of civilization, ever on the hunt for us, ever hungering for our flesh. And thus did the world become what it is. Should you ever wish to hear the tale again, I would be glad to retell it for you. Or if you would rather I speak of other matters, that too would be my pleasure. I should be glad of the company. And that taught me about the Flood of Light. Geronimo. Alright, let's head back. To the crystalline mean. Rare to see a place so well stocked with goods, isn't it? But not here. Excuse me. I'm going to guess you're new to our fair city. Well, for what it's worth, you've chosen a fine sanctuary. The Exarch can throw up a barrier if the Sin-Eaters come knocking, so it's a damn sight safer in here than it is out there. Safer and more civilized, too. Thanks to us in the mean. We work together to procure materials and resources and craft the goods which make city life possible. This is the place to visit if you need a coat mended or a kettle forged. Just don't go thinking it'll all be handed to you on a plate like those Eulmore layabouts. Here in the Crystarium, we work for a living. Though I see you're no stranger to honest labor. You don't have that whiff of indolence about you like some folk I've met. Still, I can't quite pin down your profession. Where is it you're from? One of the Exarch's countrymen, you say? I see. Well then, I'll work twice as hard to make you feel welcome. Our city wouldn't even exist if it weren't for him, and any friend of his is a friend of ours. It's really quite incredible when you think about it. They say his grand magic summoned the Crystal Tower into existence, pulled the entire thing out of thin air. It wasn't long before droves of refugees began congregating around its base, desperate for shelter after losing their homes to the flood. And that's how the Crystarium began. At the Exarch's invitation, buildings started going up, and with the help of some curious relics brought forth from the tower, the place gradually expanded into the thriving metropolis you see today. The city stood here for decades now, yet the eldest among us swear the Exarch looks exactly the same as he did back then. He is indeed a man of many mysteries, but for all his secrecy, he has never yet let us down. So if he, and you, wish to remain silent about your shared homeland, then the folk here will respect your wish for privacy. I am, however, more than a little curious to see any crafting talent you might be hiding. If you've aught to contribute on that front, be sure to come back and visit once you've had a chance to settle in. Just ask for Catalyst, and I'll find you a niche here in the Crystalline Mean. You can help us keep the cogs of the city greased and turning. And I learned about life in the Crystarium. Okay, let's see. Let's run on upstairs here. Oh, I didn't attune to the Crystalline Mean one there. That was not smart. And of course the Dozle Gate, where we'll head next. Alright, we'll back downstairs and do that. All of the Ethernet shards now. Well, how did you fare? Did my colleagues help you form a clearer picture of this world and its people? Yeah, I learned 3 big things. Yes, it seems you were treated to a most thorough introduction. I understand it was something of a chore, but 'twas necessary that you grasp these things before we proceed. As for the Crystal Tower's origin, you may have noted that details were sparse. The structure is, in fact, the selfsame one you know from the source, transported to the first in its entirety. It was my first attempt at breaching the boundaries between worlds, something of a trial run for your eventual crossing. And although I do not know which era I tore it from, I do know that its arrival served to set the wheels of fate in motion. These are level 385s. I'm going to change over to back over to Dancer and grab that gear, I think. Yeah, that'll be upgrade to my Dancer, I guess. Yeah, it's 385 stuff. If it'll fit. Yeah, looks like it all went in there. Well, what happened? Only got the body piece? Oh, it is. That's all we get is a body piece. All right. Not a full set of gear there. Yep. All right. Reaper. You've done as I requested and learned something of the world in which you find yourself. Now it's time I fulfilled my half of the bargain and explained what has befallen your comrades. That is a conversation I would rather have in the privacy of my quarters, however. I must go on ahead to the tower and organize a few things, but I shall see that the guard knows to admit you. The tower's gate lies open, then. Well, yes, of course. It can be opened and closed just like any other. Does that seem strange to you? I know not how the tower functioned in your time, but I assure you, there is no danger of us being locked inside. Hey, Lily, welcome, welcome. Making our foray into Shadowbringers today, finally. Greetings, madam. The Exarch awaits you within. Ooh, yum. A big batch of banana oatmeal cookies. That does sound good.
Welcome to the Ocular, my private study. We can speak here without fear of being overheard. I have much to explain, but the truths which I must touch upon in doing so would cause only distress and confusion to the people of this world. Pray keep that in mind. Now, I am sure you are desperate to know the fate of your fellow Scions. To put it simply, they are here in the First. Their arrival, however, was not as recent as you may imagine. Here, time flows at a different pace from that of the Source. In the space of a single hour in your home world, an entire year might pass in the First, and the reverse could also be true. The pace fluctuates without rhyme or reason, and it cannot be predicted. That said, we seem to be entering a period of near equivalence, and thus, for the moment, you need not overly concern yourself with the passage of time. As for your companions, however, Yustola and Urianger have dwelled here for 3 winters, all told, while Thancred's count stands at 5. Even our more recent arrivals, Alphinaud and Alisae, have lived in the First for almost a year. My intention had been to summon only you, but the art of reaching across worlds has proven exceedingly difficult to master. Thus it was that my fumbling hand closed upon those to whom your fate is most closely bound as well. As they were not the object of my summons, their transference was incomplete. Though they may appear to possess corporeal bodies, they are, in truth, merely spirits that one can see and touch. Consequently, while you yourself will be able to pass between worlds with relative freedom, they will not. Much as it grieves me, they are stranded here, unable to return.
Yeah, looking at this picture, that's got to be Thancred, I guess, coming in there. He's got to be thinking, why do I have to arrive naked whenever I get transported through through something like that? Remember back in Heaven's Word, or I guess near the beginning of, towards the end of Heaven's Word anyways, we've located Thancred out in the wilds. He arrived without any clothes and had to bargain with the creatures out there. What have they been doing all this time?
We spent every waking hour searching for a way to reverse the summoning. In the beginning, at least. As you may have surmised, however, our efforts met with little success. And then we all but abandoned the endeavor once Urianger shared with us the vision he had witnessed during his journey through the rift. In that chaotic no-man's land between realms, time and space warp and blend in unexpected ways. What Urianger saw was the future. That which would one day come to pass. In his vision of tomorrow, the first was rejoined with the source. This collision of worlds brought about the 8th Umbral Calamity and the deaths of countless multitudes. Amongst those who perished, Urianger clearly saw the fall of the Scions' mightiest champion. He watched you die. And thus did the Scions embrace their exile, and began searching this world for a means to forestall the coming catastrophe in yours. Their souls are stranded in the first, yes, but they have fought on, desperate to save their home and you from destruction. Nor have their efforts been in vain, for it was they who finally established that the elimination of the Sin Eaters will indeed serve to prevent the calamity. Considering these circumstances of our meeting, you would be forgiven for doubting my version of events. And so, before all else, I would suggest you track down your comrades and hear the tale from their lips. I shall of course be happy to assist in these reunions, and you need not make any decisions regarding your involvement until you are certain of where you stand. Meanwhile, I promise I will not rest until I have found a way to help your friends return home. What say you? Have I earned your trust for the moment, at least?
Yeah, for the moment.
Excellent. You will not regret this. With that settled, we shall have to see about getting you ready for the road. Traveling across the rift has no doubt left you weary. I will arrange for a room where you might rest in comfort. While it's being prepared, perhaps I can show you around.
Sure. The Crystarium boasts a number of residential districts, but I have been informed that a room has just become available at the Pendants, which, as it turns out, is perfect. Our path there will take us past the markets, and I was hoping to give you my own introduction to their wares. Come along.
This is the Musica Universalis, the commercial heart of the Crystarium. What you might need to prepare for your journeys can be purchased here. Ah, yes. You must be curious about the currency. Fear not. The gil you carry will serve you well enough. Each nation once minted its own coins, but 'twas all a jumbled mess following the flood. After much debate, the local merchants eventually elected to revert to the old ways, wherein a coin's value was decided by the worth of its metal. As for a unit of measurement, we agreed upon the term gil, a word borrowed from coins uncovered within the Crystal Tower here. And as our traders peddled their wares across the land, so too did our usage of gil become common practice. From what your stola tells me, a standard coin from the source equates to exactly 1 gil here, or near enough not to matter.
Well, that's super convenient.
Our way of life has benefited greatly from the artifacts we recovered from the tower, some of which may be familiar to you. But I fear it would not be practical for us to provide everything to which you are accustomed. You shall need a means to access the commodities of your homeworld. Avan Kerm Sin?
Are you there, my friend?
Yes, I'm here. Of course I'm here. What amusements do you have for me today?
My dear Feo Ul, paragon of pixie kind. For you, I have the most vital task. This fine lady is a friend from a distant realm. And we have need of a means to ferry things back and forth from her home. Might you be able to assist us in this matter?
You came from beyond, didn't you? From beyond the rift? How wonderfully exciting! What a brave and reckless and marvelous thing you did! You've the heart of a pixie, you do. After careful consideration, I have decided to grant you my assistance. Make a pact with me and the fun can begin. But answer me this, traveler. Did your garments come with you when you crossed over? Your teeth? Your nails? Just as I thought! Then you've a good stout connection with your home through which all your belongings, great and small, may easily pass. From this moment forth I will be your Isne Fis, and you my Snay Yak. Like the branch which sprouts from the sapling, our bond will flow unbroken from one to the other. Raise your hand. Tis done. We are bound now, dearest sapling. Come then. Make your request. Tell me your desire. I wish to visit this world of yours.
Mayhap her message to your friends in the Source to inform them of your safe arrival.
Yeah, send a message to Tataru.
Consider it done.
As you heard, that was Feo Ul of the Pixies. Their kind possess an affinity for magic akin to that of arcane beings. They rarely show themselves in populated areas, but Feo is insatiably curious even by Pixie standards, and seems to have taken a liking to the Crystarium. Right, we were going to organize a room for you, weren't we? Come along.
Oh, yeah, still not sure about Beowulf. Yeah, I don't know. I just think just mischievous is kind of interesting, but yeah, I know what you mean. And as a result of our pact, we now have access to delivery moogles, market boards, and summoning bells. Huzzah! Alright. So we can carry on business as usual here. And next, let's see, oh, he's headed up to the rooms, it looks like. I'll just run up there. Ah, there you are. I was just finalizing the matter of your accommodation. You'll have a private room here at the Pendants for the duration of your stay, to make use of as you see fit. When you are ready to retire, the manager will show you to your lodgings. Pray, rest and recuperate, and we shall reconvene in the ocular anon. I believe that covers all of the practical concerns. Thank you for answering my call, Anne. We are denied the comforting blanket of night, but may peaceful dreams attend you nonetheless. A pleasure to meet you, miss, and welcome to your new home at the Pendants. Your room is ready, if you'd care to retire. Yes, please. You.
I know you. You're the warrior of light from the source.
The warrior of darkness?
What? Did you just... You can hear me? Oh, gods, how long has it been? That was what I called myself in your world. The Warrior of Darkness. My real name is Ardbert. I used an alias in the source. A daft one, looking back. If you recall my tale, it was my comrades and I who caused the flood. We thought our home doomed. And so we listened to the Ascians. Let them guide us to the source and try to hasten their goddamned ardor. I remember when we fell, defeated by you and yours. I remember our audience with Minfilia, how she listened to our pleas and returned our souls to the First. The flood was poised to swallow Norvrant. Minfilia and my friends, they surrendered what little they had left to hold it back. Just faded away, leaving me to bear witness. Tell me, do you know the year? How much time has passed since we caused the flood? A 100 years. 100 long years. My hands find no purchase. My gestures catch no eye, and my pleas, be they whispered or screamed, reach not a single ear. I am a shade, cursed to do naught but drift. I feel as if I've been walking forever. I hardly noticed when my mind and body began to fray at the edges. Then bang! My senses were sharp again. I felt like a fish being reeled in, and before I knew it, I found myself in this room. Why is it that you can see me? What are you even doing here, come to that? You were summoned to save the first. A waste of time. This world is beyond saving, like those who tried to save it. Muddled as my mind may be, I've not forgotten that. But if fate has brought me to you, the one person in this God's forsaken world who can see and hear me, then perhaps there is a reason I endured. If I can find out why I was left behind, then maybe I can bring this journey of mine to an end. Well, I'll be watching, Warrior of Light. But do me a favor. Be careful out there. This world has had its fill of heroes.
Right, on our way back over to the Ocular then. Well rested and finding out some more information there. Make sure there's nothing new, no new quest yet there. Mistress Anne, the Exarch awaits you within.
Ah, how did you find your new quarters? I trust you were able to rest?
I had a ghostly visitor.
I was not aware the room was haunted, and you were rather tired. Well, should you receive another visitation, be sure to let me know. Now, let us return to the subject of the Scions' whereabouts. This map shows the lands of Northrend, the only area to be spared the Flood of Light. The Crystarium is here, in the region known as Lakeland. To the north is the fairy kingdom of Eulmore. That is where you'll find Urianger. To the east lies the once prosperous civilization of Rak-Tika. Your Stola is stationed there, in the heart of the forest. Alas, neither location can be reached without considerable difficulty. As such, I would suggest you first seek out one of the twins, each of whom is stationed but a short flight from the Crystarium. Alphinaud is on Calusia, an island off the western shore. It is home to a city called Eulmore, where the rich and privileged while away their days in idleness. For his part in furthering our cause, Alphinaud journeyed there to meet with the citizenry and forge alliances. From what I hear, he has since kept himself busy gathering information around the main settlement. Alisae, meanwhile, traveled south to the arid wastes of Armorang. They lie upon the very edge of the inhabitable world, where the flood of light was halted. Those who dwell there live in constant fear of attack by the Sin-Eaters. In contrast to her brother, Alisae felt that her energies would better be spent learning about the enemy, and thus she sells her services as a guard, both to hone her skills and gather information on our foe. So, will it be Calusia or Armorang? It matters not which you choose to visit first. Simply inform me once you've made your decision, and I will see to it that you are provided with a suitable mount. Ah, but you must be wondering about Thancred. He has taken up with a new companion, and is presently engaged as a wandering hunter of Sin-Eaters. Being ever on the move, his whereabouts are often difficult to ascertain, but I am certain your paths will cross ere long.
And another 385, which we already have for Reaper. Alright, in search of Alphinaud. You will visit Alphinaud and Calusia then. Excellent. As I mentioned, your destination is an island off the west coast, so you will need a mount capable of making the journey. Here's a letter of introduction. Present it to Zem Genmai, the Master of Beasts at Temenos Rookery, and he will take care of you. When you see Alphinaud, be sure to pass on my warmest regards. Ready to depart for Armorang? Alisae will be overjoyed to see you safe. I know she was particularly concerned for your well-being. She impressed upon me how regrettable the timing of her summoning was. Repeatedly. I only hope that my part in sending you to her will garner me some measure of forgiveness. Here, this is a letter of introduction addressed to a man named Cassard, the master of a merchant caravan. There are few who know the ways of the desert as well as he does. Find him at the Amaro launch and he will see that you reach your destination. I gotta get out of here first. Now, look. Oh, good. Yeah, there's our nuts and sights of the first. Sights. Nuts. Right, okay. Oh, you're you're her, aren't you? Haldor's been asking after you. You know Haldor, Clan Nutsie's man? If you're keen to hunt the deadliest marks for the biggest bounties, then you might want to seek him out. You'll find him by the board over in the rookery, though, if I were you, I'd steer clear of that whole nasty business. Bad for one's health, it is. Thank you for the warning. First, so that's going to be up top, I think. There they are. Hold a moment, sinner. You're not from around here, are you? A fellow wandering soul, an eternal inhabitant of the road? I thought so. Tireless, the name. My aspiration is to travel the whole wide world, though it's a fair bit smaller than it used to be, so as far as dreams go, it's a lot more realistic than you might think. But danger still lurks in every corner and around every bend. Even so, this sinner's got nerves of steel. He's a born explorer, Irelith. There's no land too distant or place too forbidden, aye. But what is that I spy poking out of your pack? A log, if I am not mistaken. Give it over if you would. Aha, I thought so. A record of fantastic vistas and unforgettable sights. We're kindred spirits, a morrow of a feather. Excellent, excellent. 'Tis only right that I share with you such wondrous experiences as you have with me, a collection of amazing vistas I cataloged myself that I guarantee will rival the best you have ever seen. Norvrant may be a shadow of its former glory, but there is still joy and excitement to be found if you know where to look, my friend. So, I implore you, look, look, and look. Follow in my footsteps, savor every moment of the journey, and then, when you feel you have discovered every secret this realm has to offer, start again. I promise you won't be disappointed. Yay, sightseeing logs. And I can jump down there. Cool. Could it be the esteemed warrior herself? Well met, miss, well met. You are a very hard woman to track down by all accounts, yet here you are in the flesh. How very blessed I am to make your acquaintance. I am Haldor of Clan Nutsie. Perhaps you have heard of us? We have certainly heard of you, I can tell you that. A fighter through and through. I'll come right to it. Interested in joining the clan? Apologies. Only a fool would sign up without knowing what we're about, and you're no fool, I can see that. The clan is how shall I put it? An association of adventurous souls who make a living hunting certain notable fiends, marks as we are wont to call them. Surely you're familiar with the concept. Norvrant is home to myriad living things, many of which pose a threat to her good people. Thus did the Exarch, at least I think it was him, in his boundless wisdom, call upon the Settlement Council to develop a framework that would encourage motivated hunters to dispatch these menaces. To wit, ye brave souls who slay marks shall receive due compensation. Not at all a bad arrangement, eh? If you've a mind to reap the benefits, speak with Zyle over there. She'll record your name in the ledger and see you registered as a clan member. I think I will. May I help you, miss? At the urging of Haldor, was it? I see. You are plainly more than capable of acquitting yourself well enough in battle. And so, I have no grounds to refuse you. I hereby accept your application to join Clan Nutsy. Check the board for the latest bills. The tougher the mark, the better the reward. Hunt what you like, or hunt nothing at all. However, you may only undertake hunts designated appropriate for a member of your current status, a novice. The clan is disinclined to allow unproven hunters to commit suicide by mark. Once you have achieved a sufficient measure of success, you will be permitted to pursue more dangerous fiends. Do try not to die before then. And what you got? 2 nuts, I guess because my dancer is high enough level. Still at it, are we? I thought you might be. I felt you had a bright future with Clan Nutsy, and sure enough, you're not dead yet, which is more than I can say about some other poor sods. I've even heard whispers that you've caught the eye of our Eulmore patrons. Oh really? How is that possible? What? No one told you? The whole system we've got here in the Crystarium first originated in Eulmore. Once upon a time, a few perfumed gentlemen were bored out of their wits and desperate for entertainment, and so they pooled their considerable resources and started placing bounties on dangerous beasts to attract hunters. Their original intent was apparently to derive amusement from the gruesome deaths of those foolish and greedy enough to pursue these marks. A reprehensible pastime, wouldn't you agree? But people are stronger and more clever than many realize, like you. 1 nut marks hardly pose a challenge to you now, do they? All the more reason to pester Xyle for permission to take on 2 nut bills. I'll go ahead and change the dancer and finish that. So, Haldor thinks you're ready to undertake 2 nut bills now, does he? How intriguing. Oh, why not? We're down a few ranking hunters, so perhaps you can make up for their absence. Do bear in mind that should you die whilst in pursuit of a mark, you will receive no compensation. Yeah, I kind of figured that. You will also be dead, exactly, which would be an inconvenience for the both of us. We have great expectations for you, Hunter. And we can pick up the next one, too. Level 79 dancer will be able to get almost everything, it looks like. Hey there, killer. Getting bored of those 2 nut marks, I'll wager? Well, not exactly. Aye, they might have been enough to get the blood pumping and the heart racing before, but it's only a matter of time before the excitement fades. I know exactly how you feel, my friend. I myself can think of nothing more exciting than being driven to my mortal limits. To be forced to bring fang and claw to bear when weapons shatter and you're scrambling to survive with whatever is at hand. Who are we to deny you that singular sport, aye? That's why I've recommended you for 3 nut marks. Be proud, soon you'll be dancing with death herself. Go and speak with Xyle. I'm sure she'll be absolutely thrilled to grant you this wonderful privilege. I'm sure she will. So, you wish to hunt 3 nut marks, do you? I thought as much when I saw you approach. Also, Haldor has been clamoring day and night for you to be granted permission, so there was that too. Yeah, in the space of 5 minutes here, he's, I don't know, whatever. Whenever the subject of you and your exploits comes up, he is filled with a fiery passion. It is as though he lives vicariously through your tales. In any event, if you desire greater challenges, then you may have them. Do be mindful of the increased risk in pursuing these marks. You are of no use to us dead or horribly maimed. That's got to be why in the next expansion they tied unlocking these hunt marks to story progression, which is probably a smart thing. You know, if you want to make sure the stories at least are believable. And that'll finish them off. So let's grab some hunt marks here. 1 nut, 2 nut, 3 nut. Alright, so we'll have those we can work on while we're out in the wilds there. Alright, so now let's see. I want to go... I think I'll do Alphinaud's story first here. Where is he here? He's right. Is that the one? Let's see. Delivered the sealed missive. Oh, the Temenos Rookery. Yeah, that's the one for Alphinaud here. Your face is unknown to me. What business have you at my rookery? Huh. Signed by the Exarch, no less. Yes, I can provide you with an Amaro for passage to Calusia. I will pick you out a friendly whelp. Not a chocobo, then. A chocobo? Do you hail from one of Norvrant's more isolated settlements, perchance? I hear there are a few places where they ride little else. But here in the Crystarium, mounts like that gray fellow there are far more commonly used. Seeing as you are plainly unaccustomed to riding Amaro, I think it best I accompany you on this flight myself. Any Zune worthy of the name could do it, of course, but the Exarch sent you to me. Ensuring you arrive safely is my responsibility. Gather your things and meet me at the Amaro launch. One of the junior tamers will attend you while I ready the mounts. Alright, we'll speak with the aspiring Amaro tamer. Oh yeah, we better tag the Amaro here. Yep, come to the right place. Yep, add my name to the list. Thank you very much. You want to fly an Amaro to Calusia? Well, I suppose if Master Genmai is going with you. Wait here, please. The Master should be along with the mounts shortly. I can now travel to Calusia, so speak with them. And I'll be able to use my ether compass. Yay!
The whistling breeze, mute. The pounding surf, frozen. Time itself takes a breath. At light's edge, all is perfectly still. The world captured in a painting, locked in a moment. Music, faint and fleeting, drifts coastward on the lifeless air. And in the distance, beyond the broken earth, a city beckons.
We are arrived. This is the Cracked Shell Beach on the eastern coast of Calusia. You should be safe here for the present. Compared to the mainland, Sin-Eater attacks are far less prevalent, and the native beasts are not any more dangerous than elsewhere. It is the people you should be wary of. Spy you that city in the distance? That is Eulmore, the island's main settlement. It rivals the Crystarium in scale and was once an ally in our battle against the abominations. For years, the Eulmoran elite have fancied themselves the masters of what remains of our broken world. They have gone as far as to offer the leaders of other settlements their protection, if we bend the knee. But to say their ideals are questionable would be putting it mildly. The Crystarium is one among many who resist their heavy-handed authority, and while we are not at war, our relationship with Eulmore is strained at best. It may be wise to conceal your ties with the Exarch during your stay here, especially in the vicinity of the city. Well, thanks for the information. Will do. I am glad we understand each other. Now, The Exarch has instructed me to divulge a secret that should make finding your friend a good deal easier. Listen closely. Well, we've almost leveled up our Reaper now. If you head south along the coast, you will eventually come to a fisherman's shack. A friend of the Crystarium lives there, a man who goes by the name of Ivor. Ivor keeps an eye on everything that happens in Calusia and will be able to point you in the right direction. Just hand him a sprig of thyme. That will let him know that you can be trusted. Here, this should be enough. Find your friend. I will stay here with the Amaro until you are ready to return. Alrighty then. And we can use our ether compass. Oh good, I need these little guys here for my log, it looks like. Let's get started. I'll figure out again how to play Reaper before long, I guess. Alright. Let's see, oh, there's where, that's what I want to do. This ingress and egress, there they are. There we go. I'm starting to remember things a little bit there. Pour him up sufficiently well there. Right, our first ether current in Shadowbringers. Oh, you're gonna get me, aren't you? Whatever. Hey, Ivor. What you after? Fish? Crab? Think I've got an eel in a barrel somewhere if you've a taste for them. Actually, here's some thyme for you. Ooh, I do love a bit of thyme. Chuck some in the pan and it's like a bloody festival of flavor. Now, what is it I can do for you? Can't say as there's been any major upsets to report these past few weeks. Do you know where Alphinaud is? Alphinaud, eh? Aye, I know the one. Our young champion of the downtrodden. Eulmore's richer than all of Norvrant put together, but it's a different story for them as live outside the city. Most spend every waking moment just trying to stay alive, which makes your friend's dedication to helping others stand out all the more. I can hazard a guess as to where he is now. Get a message to him. But you'll need somewhere quiet to meet, away from prying eyes. Make for Stilltide. That's the fishing village just up the path there. You're looking for a rundown excuse for a tavern the locals call the Leaky Keel. Wait there and I'll see that Alphinaud joins you. Well, thanks, buddy. See how my Choco's doing here. Oh, he's just barely into rank 6. Yeah, it's going to take a while for them to rank up, just playing casually with this. Waiting, 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 and more waiting. This your first time in a tavern? It's customary to buy a drink if you mean to loiter. What'll you be having? Oh, give me some water. A fine choice, and what'll you be paying with? Why, I'll be using this gill right here. Well now, those are exotic. Where did you come by coins like that? I'm sorry, dear, I don't doubt they have value, but I don't have a touchstone to test their purity, and I'm not about to go begging for one from the neighbors, so we'll just have to come to some other arrangement. Here's an idea. There's a common to the north where we grow our vegetables, but lately the pests have been eating more of them than we have. What do you say to a bit of extermination work? I want you to squash any vermin you find, then visit the caretaker and give him an earful from me for sleeping on the job. He'll be in the old silo next to the fence, snoring like as not. Do that for me and you can laze about here as long as you like. Okay. Oh, I need to tag this Chocobo dude, or Amaro dude here. There we go. Alrighty, the blighted crop. Slowly coming back to me. response. Maybe I should knock louder. Sounded about the same. No response. Perhaps the occupant is hard of hearing? I hear a faint squeaking from the room beyond. Time to burst in and save the day, brave adventurer. Okay. No one is home, and judging by the lack of furniture, they haven't been for some time. The gnawed scraps of vegetables on the floor suggest rats have taken up residence in their absence. Well, heck. I didn't miss another... Nope, there's not another one very near here at all. Welcome back, dear. What did that good-for-nothing caretaker have to say for himself? Well, unless your caretaker is a rat, I don't... Gone? Must have left to join the rest of the hopefuls. In Gate Town, outside Eulmore, you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, do you? And there I was thinking you were another dreamer. Well, never mind all that. Take a seat wherever you like, dear. You've more than earned it. I'll even throw in another drink on the house.
And how is business today, Mistress Theva?
Oh, frenetic. Look, I have a new customer.
Tis good to see you, my friend. The barley seeds you wanted. They should produce a better harvest than the last.
What, just like that? Oh, Alphinaud, you really are a dear. Well, I'd best be tidying up some of those empty shacks before the pests move in. Keep an eye on the place while I'm out, eh?
It seems an age since last we spoke. Not since the prisoner exchange in Doma. And Yotsu. It has been even longer for me, of course, if you count the days I've spent here. But the time has only added to the relief I feel seeing you safe and well.
We thought we'd lost you.
Huh. Alisae said much the same thing. I don't think I've ever had such a scolding. But I believe an exchange of news is in order. Come, tell me of your arrival and all that came before.
Well, in case you haven't noticed, I'm a Reaper now.
I see. Both the Exarch and Alisae told me what they knew of events, but I had stubbornly clung on to the hope that all-out war might yet be avoidable. And poor Tataru. She must be sick with worry. We must endeavor to return as soon as we may. It would be nice to bring her good tidings for a change. But before we bid this world farewell, we must first ensure that it is not rejoined to the source. We must prevent the 8th Umbral Calamity. Urianger's vision of the future has, I fear, every chance of coming true. By his description, the catalyst for the Calamity was a formless and deadly weapon employed by the Garlean Empire. Which can only mean one thing. Black Rose. Gaius was telling you the truth. When we were on the trail of the Scions, we saw evidence that the gas was being manufactured once more. Gaius was adamant that the project had been scrapped. But so long as there are wars to be waged, there will always be those determined to win by any means. And thus simply destroying the existing stores of Black Rose would do little to alter fate's course. In that sense, our involuntary journey here to the First was something of a boon. Together with the Exarch, we've developed a theory as to how we believe the rejoining will be set in motion. I'm sure Urianger himself will cover the subject in more detail. But I can tell you the process requires that both worlds, the Source and the First, be facing an existential threat. One being Sin Eaters, of course. They are a menace that I would dearly love to remove, and not just to avert a calamity. I may be a stranger to this world, but I will not stand idly by and let innocent people be slaughtered. That is what brought me to the gates of Eulmore. Ignoring its pretensions as a kind of capital city to what remains of the world, it is nonetheless a center of power and authority. If any solutions are to be found, I believe our search should begin there. What say you, old friend? Hungry for another adventure?
Count me in.
And so we take to the road once more.
Oh, just a smidge shy of level 71 there. Assuming you have no objections, let us make our way directly to the city outskirts. If we time our arrival just right, you may be lucky enough to see why I have yet to set foot in Eulmore, despite my best efforts to do so. Come, from here we must head west and then cross a small bridge. Leveled up through area discovery. Calusia seems peaceful, does it not? Almost familiar? I had a similar impression of the Crystarium. Even in this distant world, people are much the same. Ah, to think that whenever a calamity struck the source, a reflection such as this one, with all its culture and history, was being erased from existence. No! Get away from me! Over there! Quickly, someone's in trouble. Okay, purple glowy place. Oh, thank the fates, you... Look out! Well, that's I've got my stun I can use too. Have to get back in the habit of doing that. My poor heart. Thank you, young miss. Ah, there you are. In my haste, I lost my bearings. But I see you have the situation well in hand. Fine work. Are you all right, madam? Just a few bruises from where I fell, nothing compared to what was in store for me before this brave soul came to my rescue. I honestly thought I was done for. My feet are not as swift as they once were, and I knew there was no one left to hear me scream. Not that I let that stop me. I should probably leave my old house behind and queue up outside Eulmore with the rest of them. Doubt those fancy lords and ladies would welcome an old crone like me. Still, even a shack near the gate has to be safer than staying here. One would hope. Either way, I suggest you avoid wandering alone lest you make the Sin Eater's task any easier. Thank you again. You saved my life. Now, I'm sure a strapping lass like you has little to fear, but I wouldn't linger long in this place. There's naught to be had here but cobwebs and memories. 'Tis as the lady says, many in these parts have abandoned their homes to live in Eulmore's shadow. Should the Sin Eaters descend upon this region, there are precious few with the strength to fight them off. Speaking of which, what have you been told of these monsters? A brief history then. 'Twas not long after the flood swallowed the better part of the world that the Sin Eaters first appeared, some beastly, some beauteous. Yet regardless of their form, all seem incapable of speech and all are driven by the same insatiable appetite for mortal ether. They are predators, and we are their prey. Calusia suffers from far fewer attacks than most regions, but even so, the list of the Sin Eater's victims grows longer by the day. A tragedy without end. Still, we have won a small victory this time at least. Now, shall we press on? We need to return to where the road forks and follow the path that leads west. Oh, there's a little murderer. Better be careful of him.
That gate up ahead is known as the Open Arms, and Eulmore itself lies beyond. This, meanwhile, is the aptly named Gate Town, the dwelling place of the many desperate souls who hope to be chosen to live in the city proper.
I thought I recognized you. Brought a new friend, eh? I'll bet you got a trick or two up your sleeve. Maybe even 3. Care to show me?
She's not here to compete. Leave her be.
What? I was only making conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please! Greetings to our hopeful petitioners, one and all. Eulmore extends its warmest regards. Let it be known that a lady of distinction wishes to dine on fish divine. We seek a master culinarian who can guarantee seafood perfection. Dazzle the matron with your delicious dishes, and life in the city will be yours to enjoy, even on days when fish is not on the menu. Who among you will answer the call? Name yourself or another. We may not at all.
Fish, is it?
Was there anyone?
What about that girl?
Do you recall how I said Eulmore was a center of power and authority? Well, that is not the only reason for its fame. It is also known as the City of Final Pleasures. The noble and the wealthy who survived the flood gathered here to live out the rest of their days in decadent abandon. A poor man could sooner pass through the Iron Needle than Eulmore's gates. The only way the common folk can enter this perverted paradise is if they fulfill the whim of one of the privileged. And so they are picked over like market produce.
What a catch! We'll not be throwing this one back. Having seen your all too obvious charms, we welcome you with open arms. Come, join us in the City of Splendor and live out your life in an ecstasy of endeavor. Oh, just look at those expectant faces. What could you possibly be waiting for? Well, what have we here? An extra share of meal to celebrate our newest resident! For you!
Ah, at last!
Enjoy!
Thank goodness.
Meal is a foodstuff which Eulmore routinely doles out to the people of Gate Town, and apparently a staple for its citizens as well. Many here rely on it to survive in these times of scarcity. Yet the whole arrangement just seems... well, let's just say it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Now you understand why my attempts to enter the city have thus far come to naught. The dubious privilege of residency must be won via a contest with ever-changing rules. They say this policy has been in place for the past 2 decades, ever since Eulmore's current ruler came into power. Yet, from what I have seen, it does more harm than good. Not only does it distract people from our shared struggle against the Sin Eaters, it robs them of their self-sufficiency. I have tried to propose ways they could improve their lot, but my words invariably fall on deaf ears. The attitude is so entrenched now, I worry that, well, mayhap you should take a turn around Gate Town and judge the situation for yourself. Still here, are you? Can't blame you for wanting a slice of Eulmore's pie. If you ask me, you should ditch that sour-faced brat and make a home for yourself here. Gate Town's not much to look at, aye, but at least it's safe. And the meal is the best thing I've ever tasted. A large pot bubbles over the flame. Pale chunks, meal you realize, float in the otherwise plain broth. Let's jump up here. Get us some early fishing experience, I guess. Just look at it. Can you imagine a more beautiful city? Every day I dream of the life that waits for me inside those walls. Oh, will they ever pick me? And nothing, no ether currents close to us here. You've seen what Gate Town has to offer? These people can no longer fend for themselves. They've become dependent on handouts of meal and believe Eulmore is the answer to all their woes. Yet, no matter how I frame my encouragement, they seem unwilling, nay, unable, to conceive of any other way of life. You disapprove of Eulmore? Tis difficult to make a final judgment without first seeing the city's inner workings. Mayhap it is that uncertainty which always makes me feel so ill at ease here. Not that it matters. However unjust this system seems to me, if these people claim to be content with their lot, it is hardly my place to criticize their choices. But take that elderly lady you rescued. Does it not seem that those who have chosen to forego Eulmore's largesse are doomed to suffer for their independence? In the end, they are all but forced to seek refuge in Gate Town, and so hamlets and fields across the island are left empty and untended, hastening the region's descent into ruin. Nay, I am not convinced that Eulmore's generosity truly serves the best interests of Calusia's people. I am not so naive as to think there is some miraculous solution to all of this, yet I cannot help but frown at the sight of hard-working villagers struggling to survive, even as the chosen few rejoice at being plucked from the poverty by the hand of a capricious noble. There has to be a better way. I will not know for sure, however, until I have taken those long-delayed steps through Eulmore's gates. 'Tis fortunate that you arrived when you did, Anne. I have been working on a scheme to insinuate myself into the city, and if all goes to plan, it should soon come to fruition. There is a beast tribe who makes its home in the seas surrounding the island. The Ondo, they are called, though you and I know them as Sahagin. For the most part, they keep to themselves in their ocean grottos and rarely have dealings with land dwellers. But as Tataru took such great pains to impress upon me during our stay in Kugane, business favors the bold, and so I reached out to them. I duly discovered that the Ondo are inordinately fond of land-grown produce, fresh fruits in particular, and when I offered to procure such goods for them, they promised to pay me in pearls. An attractive business venture for any prospective investor, would you not agree? Surely even the most jaded Eulmoran lord would have time for a merchant who can make pearls from plums and pumpkins. Interesting idea, Alphinaud. Yes, I've come a long way since my days of buying samurai swords without first negotiating a price. Yeah, that was something. My appointment with the Ondo is due to take place in a few hours. I just need to collect the produce and meet with them on the shore. Might you help me make the exchange? Yep, sure will. Excellent. I should be glad of your company. First things first, then. We must pay a visit to Moshe Moa, my supplier in Right. Come, it is just to the northwest of here. Is there something I can do for you, friend? Good day to you, Moshe Moa. This is my associate, Anne. We are here to collect the produce I purchased. Huh? I loaded your lackey up with the goods not long ago. My lackey? I know of no such person. Mistel lad. Short blue hair? No? He said he'd come on your behalf, and since he seemed to know all the details, I just assumed. Confound it, someone must have been eavesdropping on our conversation. If this charlatan was here not long ago, he cannot have gone far. We should split up and search the area. You find a vantage point on the south side of town, and I shall take the west. need some wood eyes, or at least one, it looks like. Let's see. Let's jump off here. Get our bird going again. I need one more. I guess we'll grab that one. Yeah, let's search for somebody. There's someone way over there. See if we can get zoomed in enough here. I have located my quarry. Anne, any sign of him? Yeah, over there. You have a keen eye. Let us move in before he makes good his escape. Two Calibris sitting there staring right at where we need to be. There we go, turned around.
There you are. The thief who claims the harvest on my behalf. Hand it over.
Okay. I guess it's right in his back pocket.
Forgive me. I have to get into the city. I have no family and all my friends have already been chosen. No one here gives a damn about me. When the meal gets handed out, I'm lucky if I get a smell of it. No matter what I do, they won't call out my name. I'm so tired, I'm so bloody hungry. I thought maybe I could steal your idea, get in that way.
What is your name?
Kai Shear.
Tell me then, Kai Shear, must it be Eulmore or nothing? What of the Crystarium? They may not offer charity, but you would be fairly compensated for any work you did.
No, it has to be Eulmore. That's where all my friends are. We made a promise that we'd live together in paradise.
I was to make my deal with the Ondo at the Clave. Listen carefully, and I shall tell you my plans for the business, and how best to arouse the Eulmoreans' interest.
You'll give me your place? Just like that?
I'm giving you a chance, nothing more. What comes of it is entirely up to you.
I understand. Oh, thank you, thank you!
This was but one path. There will be others. But for young Kaishir, it was the difference between life and death. I do not regret my decision, yet I will admit that a part of me wonders if it was for the best. We strive to bring swift salvation to this world, that countless lives might be saved, not least your own. Even if it came at the cost of one man, should I have forged on regardless?
That's not who you are.
I suppose not. Were Estinian here, he would most likely scoff at my soft-heartedness.
Same old Alphinaud, ever the slave to sentiment.
But I thank you for your kind words nonetheless. Let us see to it that both these stories have a happy ending. Shall we return to Rite then? Is that... I can't be sure, but I think someone's in trouble. Come on, they may need our help.
Yay, another ether current. Yeah, it was awfully nice of them to scatter those through where we would be, where we have to go for quests and all. That should take care of the worst of his injuries. Mercy. Mercy, I beg you. Breathe easy, sir. No harm will come to you here. The poor man is shivering. Pray, keep an eye on him while I get a fire going. I thought for certain I was dead. How am I ever to repay this kindness? We'll settle for the tale behind your current predicament. Why don't you begin by telling us your name? Tristal. I was invited into Eulmore to work as an artist. A wealthy couple took me in to paint pictures for them, but when my style proved contrary to their taste, they just as quickly turfed me out onto the street. I was left penniless and patronless, a grave sin in Lord Vothry's city. Within days, they had brought me before the man himself, and he asked me what I meant to do. Dejected as I was, I told him that I wished to leave. Little did I know how soon he would grant me my wish. They flung me over the balustrade into the God's damned ocean. From up there? How were you not dashed to pieces? Don't ask me. Luck, I suppose. Though, if you hadn't found me when you did, it wouldn't have counted for much. Monstrous. And the citizens condone such barbaric punishment? Oh, without a second thought. When Lord Vothry passes judgment, no one so much as blinks, let alone argues. In Eulmore, his word is law. I better get out of the fire. The more I hear about Eulmore, the more determined I am to see what waits within its walls. I shall bend all my thought towards securing another way into the city. There must be something we can do. But first, we should convey Tristal to the shelter of the village. Fire or no fire, he needs to be out of this chilly coastal air. Away into the city? Pray, accept my deepest gratitude. I owe you both my life. And, if you'll permit me, I would assist you in your attempt to enter Eulmore, insofar as I am able, at any rate. To be frank, the thought of sending my saviors into that awful place makes me sick to the stomach. But since it's plain you've set your minds on it, you should take this. It's my favorite paintbrush. The Eulmore and elite are never satisfied until they get exactly what they want, and if I'm not mistaken, the couple I mentioned will be looking for someone to replace me. If you make a show of owning such a well-used brush, you may be able to convince people you have a talent for painting. Are you certain? This is your livelihood. We cannot deprive you of such a treasured possession. I give it gladly after all you've done for me. Besides, I don't think I have the heart to paint anymore. As to what I'll do instead, I honestly haven't decided. But I shan't stay long in this place, not with that city brooding over me. Nay, I'll move on to new lands and a new profession. And I'll keep you in my prayers from now until my dying day. Oh, there we go. Some ether current quests have popped up too. They say kindness is its own reward, but Tristal has repaid us with a gift as timely as it was unexpected. We will, however, need to act upon his advice before another painter steps in to fill the vacancy. Thankfully, I do have some modest skill with a brush. Nothing approaching that of a true artist, of course, but enough to play the role, I would hope. As for you, well, if you don't mind taking a subordinate role, mayhap you could pose as my assistant? Then it is settled. All we need to do now is return to Gate Town and await the next appearance of those vile jesters. those vile jesters. Hey, it's the noise! As opposed to the quiet, I guess. Oh, who are you? Forgive me, it's not often we see travelers in Rite, what with how dangerous it is hereabouts. I even worry for my husband taking the road down to the shipyard, and he's as strong as Talos. He has been gone a good while, though. If you're headed that way, could you please let him know his wife is expecting him at home? Sure, I'll go run do that. Oops, head out this way. Let's see. Double check our northeast to the next ether current from here. Oops. No, I don't have time to play with you there, Lowland Highsock. Huh? Something I can do for you, stranger? Well, beat me with a hammer. Has it been that long? I was aiming to salvage the planks from this old hull, but she's given me more trouble than I bargained for. Bit of a waste to leave all this lumber lying around. Not much call for seaworthy ships since the light ate up half the world, you understand. So I reckoned it were better for a woodworker like me to put it to good use. These boards, though, they're so tightly joined I can't pull the bleeding things loose. Here, do me a favor and sprinkle some of this powder on the joints along the keel. I'll keep working on this end, and with any luck, I can make it home before the wife stomps down here to fetch me herself. That should do the trick. Powdered fire crystal is the best thing for melting wood glue. Just pour on a little water and the steam will take care of the rest. This ought to be a one-man job now, thanks to you. Oh, and if you could let the noise know I'll be done within the hour, then you'll have helped me out of 2 rough spots today. Report to the noise. Could be a thin wall, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? He's all right then? Well, that's a relief. Rite's had its share of troubles, and a wife does worry. What? He had you helping strip planks? The cheek of that man. Still, we're lucky his father taught him the trade at all, even if he uses those skills to take ships apart instead of building them. A woodworker puts food on the table, so I'm grateful to his family for keeping up their traditions. And I'm grateful to you for bringing me peace of mind. Please, take this for your kindness. Here's an ether current for your kindness. Excuse me, but you're the lady Alphinaud was traveling with, aren't you? I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your name. Ah, Anne, how lovely to meet you. My name is Euless, and I'm the acting village mayor. I was hoping someone of your talents would pass through Rite before long. The thing is, I need to visit someone up at Stonegazer, but I'm afraid to walk the path alone. Do you think you could provide an escort? Okay, my thanks. I just couldn't bring myself to ask one of the villagers. You see, there was an incident a while back where a veteran band of hunters was badly mauled. Simply mentioning that it's unsafe to wander outside the village these days would be enough to bring back memories of that grisly scene, which is why it's been so difficult to even bring up the subject. But such does not change the fact that the roads are indeed dangerous. Pray, meet me on the path to the north and be prepared to fend off the wildlife. What did I tell you? I was barely 10 steps out of the village. Come, let us hurry along before more predators have a chance to gather. Thank you for the escort, Anne. This is the gentleman I wish to speak with, so we needn't go any further. Cy Luke. Are you wandering around by yourself out here? You know what kind of creatures lurk beyond the borders of the village. Well, if it isn't Clifton's little girl. Something I can do for you, lass? Yes, sir. I came for an answer to my proposal from the other day. Have you given any thought to taking over as village mayor? I'm doing the best I can in the interim, but I have neither the age nor the wisdom to continue in the role, and the rest of the villagers agree with me. I'm fairly sure I told you nay once already. But seeing as you found a guard just so you could come and talk to me, then mayhap I will consider the idea, in exchange for a few small tasks. You will? Please, just tell me what I need to do. My friend Clifton, your dear father, was looking for a sickle to cut some rope. Would you mind skipping back to the village and borrowing one for me? Why would you... I mean, a sickle, was it? For cutting rope? That shouldn't be too difficult. I had only meant to ask you along for the one trip, but if I'm to complete these tasks, would you be willing to indulge me a while longer? For an ether current, absolutely. Good day to you, young Euless. You look a little flustered, dear. Was there something I could help you with? And a good day to you, madam. I was actually hoping to borrow a sickle. Is that all? Here, you can take this one. I've several spares, so there's no rush in returning it. Doing a spot of harvesting, are you? My thanks, but it's not for me exactly. I was asked to bring one for my father. Your father? Shadows save me. Forgive me. If you're to accompany me in these tasks, then you deserve to know the whole story. It was my father, Cliftel, who was the former mayor of Wright. And the incident I spoke of earlier was something that happened a year ago. One day, a stray sin-eater came prowling around and slaughtered nearly half the village. It was a waking nightmare. Some of the villagers blamed my father. They said it was because he refused to accept the protection of Eulmore. The sheer scale of the tragedy and the accusations that followed wore away at his conscience until finally he could bear the guilt no longer. He hanged himself. Luke, the old man we spoke to, was his closest friend. But considering how he worded his request, it seems he's reluctant to accept the fact of my father's death. Still, I would see this task to its end. Let us bring him his sickle, shall we? Whoops. Yep, I figured you would see me. Luke, sir, we brought the sickle you asked for. Oh, good, good. Old Cliftel will be glad to see this. Oh, sir. Thank you for staying with me, Anne. This might be harder than I expected. And that is not an ether quest. I'm going to ignore that for now. Alright, on our way back over to Eulmore. Hey, little murderer. Here they come. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention once more. What a day it's been for the folks at our door. We've welcomed a peddler who made pearls from a plum, and now we've a place for a painter of a plum. So come along and don't be slow. It's time to let your colors show. I can paint, portraits at least. Landscapes and still lifes are so rarely commissioned these days. Oh ho ho, I thought I spied some new faces in the crowd. What a fortune that you should feel at ease around an easel. What proof have you of your prowess? Any masterpieces on your person? Sadly not. Everything I paint is soon sold. Such is the life of a working artist. I have only my brush to testify for me, though you will note that it has seen no small amount of service. Aha, ho ho, Flecks of paint, both old and new, a tool much loved and much used. Not a prop to be conjured on the hop. Very well, come with us and we'll put those talents to the test. And who is this hanger-on? Well-wisher or parasite? Why, this is my assistant. She whose unfailing support allows my art to flourish. I will go with her or not at all. Parasite, then. We shall leave her fate in the hands of your new employer. It matters not a whit to us. And having filled our latest vacant space, we retire to Eulmore's sweet embrace. Oh, mercy me, the meal! We almost took our leave without leaving a loving token. We must empty the sacks ere we make our way back.
Yeah, meal! Ooh, yeah, awesome.
Redemption is beyond us. The lament of all but saints and fools, and the comfort of the lords and ladies of this accursed place. Once they held fast against the madness, only to embrace the coming cataclysm and delight in the end of days. Perhaps in rapture they seek to lose themselves and the misery they share. Or perhaps for them alone, the promise of eternal pleasure really does hold true.
Welcome, welcome to the city of final pleasures. Feel free to weep at its magnificence. No, not even a single tear. Moving right along then. Our first task is to register you as residents. You know, make it all nice and official. We'll smooth the way, so you just need to put on your happy faces and head through to Joyous Hall. The Bureau of Immigration is in the first room on the left side of the passage. Declare your name and occupation in a nice loud voice. The clerks will tell you where to go from there. Oh, and pay no mind to those folk off to the side of the road. Much like the hopefuls in Gatetown, they haven't earned the right to enter the city proper. If, however, you enjoy basking in the envy of your fellow man, then by all means, take your time. But why waste another moment? Go, enjoy the beginning of your new life in paradise. Hey, Blitz, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. The Bureau of Immigration, was it? I suppose we had better show ourselves willing for the time being. And how's it going with you, Blitz? I hope everything's fine. Oh, got rain preventing you from doing some smoking. Dang, yeah. Like some good smoked meat. My brother does a really nice smoked turkey. He does that, a few times a year maybe. Delicious. Welcome to Eulmore, fortunate friends. May I have your names? I am Alphinaud, an artist, and this is Anne, my assistant. Ah, yes, I was informed of your imminent arrival. We can forego the usual interview and begin processing your registration papers forthwith. Now, the citizens of Eulmore are divided into two classes. There are the free, who are blessed with the favor of Lord Vothry, and the bonded, who work in the employ of the free. You will be joining the ranks of the bonded. Your duties are to serve a patron in the capacity for which you were chosen. In your case, painting pretty pictures. Should your patron dismiss you for any reason, you must find another sponsor among the free, or accept work as a general laborer. Recently got a new grill, so trying out smoking some ribs. Oh yeah, that ought to be nice. Well, I hope you get your chance soon. Yeah, sorry it's raining on you there. I see, and might you tell us something of the patron we are to serve? The two patrons, actually, Chinus, and Dulia Chai, a Mistel couple whom most refer to as the Chais. They are both gentle souls, but I would ask that you conduct yourself with respect and humility, for your own sake as much as theirs. Now, a moment please while I complete the relevant paperwork. All in order. These are your registration documents. Take those papers next door and submit them to the clerk. Once they've been stamped, you will officially be Eulmoran citizens. Enjoy your new life in paradise. Welcome to the Bureau of Registration. Papers, please. Here they are. What have we here? Alphinaud, artist. Anne, artist assistant. To be employed in the service of Lord Chai News and Lady Dulia Chai. Yes, everything seems to be in order. Your registration is hereby approved. I think it best that we deliver you to the Chai residence before... Oh dear. You smell hideous. Huh? Well, we have been adventuring a bit. Did you crawl here through a ditch? It's like an unholy miasma of dust and sweat and the musk of some unwashed beast. Proceed directly to the delousery next door and scrub yourselves clean. Use whichever showers are free. After you've rinsed away that stench, you'll want to splash yourselves with this perfume, liberally. Once you've made yourselves presentable, then you may proceed to the Chai residence. Cornine, the guard by the stairs, will give you directions. hadn't realized we were so aromatic. Well, I guess we're okay. Louser. With my clothes on and everything. You rinse yourself clean in the stream of water. Oh, there's somebody else showering over there. All right, next, apply the sweet-smelling perfume. Yeah, and put the same stinky clothes back on. Yeah, they should have had like a washing machine in there. I could just run them through or something while I was taking my shower. Oh, that looks nice. Maybe that helps clean the clothes. That could be too. You apply the perfume as directed, and the delicate scent of roses fills the air. Oh, you've showered and dressed already? Have you? Is it not... That is to say... It seems rather exposed for one's ablutions, does it not? Alisae would have been drying her hair by now. Wouldn't she just? Very well, I shall endeavor to emulate her boldness then. Courage, Alphinaud. Go do it, stinky boy. Well, that was bracing. I believe the lingering smells of the road have been successfully expunged. Shall we go and present ourselves to our new patrons then? Indeed we shall. You're looking to present yourself to the Chais, are you? Let me explain how the city's laid out then. Imagine 3 layers, one on top of the other. This layer here is called the buttress. Above us is the understory, where the military has its headquarters, and above that, you've got the canopy, which is where the free citizens of Eulmore spend their days. So, if you want to find your new patrons, you'll need to keep climbing until you run out of stairs. Then look for the Grand Dame's parlor. They'll be in there, like as not. We'll go in here first then. Where is it? Let's see. Over on the other spot. Ah, down there. And I've attuned myself to all the Aethernet shards. Alright. We can now pick Calusia as an exit. Yay. Hey, Dior Kenny. course, we cannot attune yet. Nope. Alright, well, let's go knock this out then. Yeah, tell me about it, Blitz. They were probably in there for all of 1 second while they dropped their message in there.
Oh, who's this then?
Lord and Lady Chai, pray forgive our intrusion. I am given to understand you were in search of an artist.
Ah, you must be the new,
Oh, goodness me! What an adorable boy! That silken hair, those pearly cheeks, oh, and you even smell wonderful, like a bed of flowers. I approve of this one, dearest. I am positive he'll paint us the most delightful pictures.
Yes. Well, as long as he paints better than that talentless wretch we sent packing last week.
Wonderful, wonderful! Welcome to Eulmore.
Alphinaud, if it please you, my lady. And this is my assistant.
Your assistant? I've heard of folk bringing in family members, but this seems a bit irregular. Aren't you a little young to have a protege?
Yeah, well, just don't mind the scythe.
We are family in all but name, my lord. Though we share no blood, we have stood by each other through life's many challenges, resolved to prevail together or not at all. Of all people, 'tis she who best understands my work. With her unique insight guiding my hand, the art I create is sure to satisfy your expectations. Once the picture is begun, of course, I shall have no need of constant encouragement. And so I wondered, rather than her being in your way, might it then be permissible for my assistant to explore the city she has so longed to see? Out of gratitude for her priceless contribution to my art, I thought it only fair that I make this humble request on her behalf.
Oh, did you ever hear of such devotion? Of course your assistant must have her wish. She shall be free to roam to her heart's content. Isn't that right, darling?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course, dearest. Quite right.
Some more 385 gear. Yeah. Now you have the opportunity to experience Eulmore. I suggest you make the most of it. Explore the city, top to bottom. In other words, I would start with the canopy and go from there. Try wandering around the market stalls, mayhap. Such places are usually filled with colorful characters, only too eager to share local gossip with a friendly visitor. I would appreciate it, of course, if you could share any discoveries with me in turn. We should both learn as much as possible about our new place of residence. Oh, hello there. A fresh register, are we? You seem a little lost. Well, 'tis lovely to make your acquaintance. Speaking of acquaintances, you wouldn't happen to have run into my attendant on your wanderings, would you? Big, strong lad, long hair, tied back? He was escorting me on a shopping errand when I realized I'd dropped my handkerchief, and now I've been waiting here all alone while he's been off searching for it. I'm not terribly fond of being alone. If you do see him, I would be obliged if you could pass on this message. Forget the silly handkerchief and return to my side at once. Oh, while I am here then, I will unlock these guys. You are the esteemed An Adventurer, yes? Yeah, I just entered the city. I am certainly esteemed already, I guess. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Moen, founder and chairwoman of the Boutique of Splendors. Master Alphinaud has spoken quite highly of you and your unparalleled artistic abilities. Really, already? Quite highly indeed. Well, that was fast. Forgive me my boldness, but I should be most honored if you were to register with us as a provider of collectibles. As compensation, we can offer you a wide variety of goods that I am confident will meet with your approval. Not direct compensation, to be clear. We have adopted a system rather similar to the one with which you are doubtless familiar, and which I only recently learned of from Master Alphinaud. For every delivery, you will receive payment in the form of scrips. This exclusive currency is redeemable only with the Boutique of Splendors. Limiting perhaps, but you will find that the equipment and materials we have on offer more than make up for any inconvenience. The woman who first conceived this approach was brilliant, wouldn't you agree? A true visionary who managed to bring together people from all walks of life and reshape the world with her boundless compassion and generosity. Oh, and I should mention that a negligible portion of the value of all collectibles processed will be withheld to account for overhead and other assorted operating expenses. Doubtless, I need not explain the necessity of this. Okay. What are you doing hanging on there? Let me help you. Wicked white, that was too close. Thank you, friend. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come along. I was trying to rescue my lady's handkerchief, you see. The wind must have blown it over the edge, but luckily it caught on something. I thought if I could just stretch out far enough. You must think highly of your mistress. She is my entire world. Without her, I am nothing. When I first came to Eulmore, I thought only of improving my lot in life. But there was so much more to this city than wealth and plenty. There is no war here, no conflict. The residents all treat each other with warmth and respect. My mistress has been ever so kind to me, and I can think of no other place in Calusia where I could possibly be happier. Sorry, I might have gotten a bit carried away. I find it hard to stop when I start counting my blessings these days. Please, you should come with me to meet my lady. Once she hears of your deed, you'll be witness to her generosity firsthand. What? Lonely, you say? Curse my clumsy feet. I must return to her immediately. My attendant told me everything. I am so very grateful you were there to offer your assistance. You value him highly, then. As if he were a member of my own family. I could not live the wonderful life I lead without him. We free citizens owe the bonded our unending gratitude. Mayhap in another society our different standing would breed prejudice or resentment, but in Eulmore a most glorious measure is in place to avert such unpleasantness. Part of that measure requires that the free surrender their fortunes. Upon registration, all of our property, financial, intellectual, or otherwise, is given over to the city. In exchange, we are provided with ample funds and commodities to live a life of pampered luxury. Being liberated from the concern of earning coin has an almost miraculous effect on people's outlook. There are no rivals to compete against, only fellow residents with whom to enjoy our tranquil existence. Now, if you'll excuse us, I must see what the markets have to offer as a reward for the return of my handkerchief. Oh, and I've not forgotten you, of course, our courageous messenger turned rescuer. All this talk of relying on the bonded, and I haven't given a thought as to what your duties might be. I hope I haven't interrupted your work unduly. A tour of the city, is it? Then you really must visit the beehive. It's always buzzing with activity. Local humor. Anyway, a lady by the name of Tista B usually has her seat near the entrance. She will gladly speak with you on any number of topics, assuming you find yourself on her good side. Welcome to the beehive, my little drone. Seeking the sting of excitement to liven up your day? I can tell at a glance when folk are new to our happy colony. It's the nervous fluttering, you see. Always gives them away. Why don't we play some cards to set you at your ease, huh? A quick game of high or low. It's simply a matter of guessing who has the bigger hand. If you win, I'll grant you a single favor. Within reason, of course. Interested? Sure. Ready for a game of high or low, then? Let's play. Good for you. No time like the present, I say. 3 cards for you, 3 cards for me. You flip one of yours over, and I flip 2 of mine. Down, 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 down. The triple triad music. Now, what's my call? Yeah, we'll say higher. Oh gosh, yes. I am got to have that one on. Oh yeah, nice one. Congratulations, your guess was right. I know. Usually I'd concede defeat at this point, but what do you say to a rematch? One more win and we'll talk about that favor. Alright, we'll do it again. And what is it this time? Oh, I still believe it's going to be a win higher. Yeah, that one's... These were too easy. Yep. Oh yeah, definitely higher. That was just too easy. Well, well, would you look at that? I think you've got a knack for this, newcomer. Congratulations, victory is yours, as is the prize I promised. Come, whisper in my ear then, and don't be shy. Tell Otista what she can do for you. That's all? How delightfully wholesome. But if knowledge is what you want, then that is what you shall have. In my humble estimation, the most wondrous thing about this town is how safe we are from the Sin Eaters. They say Lord Vothri was born with the power to command them, which means no Eulmore need ever raise a weapon in defense of the city. Was that the kind of thing you wish to know? If your itch still needs scratching, you might get a few words out of Atharn over there. There's not that merry sot likes more than the sound of his own voice. What's that? New to Eulmore, you say? Yeah, only just arrived and already you're looking to peel away the layers of mystery. Oh, I'm all for chatting, but you need to slow down and enjoy life, my friend. I tell you what, you hop up on stage and give us a dance first, and then we can have our little talk. Okay. So he enjoys more than just talking. Alright, let's get up here on our spot then. Get a good view here while we dance here. Yep. There we go. Dancing. That's the way. Dance like there's no tomorrow. Alright, we did it. Now, that was a show. You're welcome to clamber up on stage anytime you like. So, what was it you wanted to ask me? Ah, yes, something about our fair city. Well, I can tell you it wasn't always so peaceful as it is today. The Eulmoran army may be the very essence of military might, but even our forces saw grievous losses in the war against the Sin Eaters. Things changed for us, around 20 years ago now, when the old ruler's son came to power. He's got this way with the Eaters, you see, turns them docile as house cats. I wouldn't be exaggerating to say they've become something of an ally to Eulmore, no longer an enemy to be feared. And yet elsewhere, there are still fools who insist on fighting their losing battles. Ha! A toast to Lord Vothri! I've gained preliminary sense of the city. The Chais and Alphinaud will be expecting my return. I'll get some more fishing experience here. Oh, you've returned from your jaunt around the city? So soon? You needn't have hurried back. Young Alphinaud has yet to put brush to canvas. One cannot rush good art, I'm told. Or good artists, apparently. Ah, finally. I've put together an ensemble out of the garments you chose. Is this satisfactory? Oh, goodness gracious me! That last outfit was precious, but this makes you look positively dashing. You truly are a handsome boy. However am I to decide? I don't recall this part of the artistic process. Exactly. The lad is an artist, dearest, not a dress-up doll. It's about time we set him to work for the reason we called him here. Must we? I do love a good painting, but I thought since we were enjoying ourselves so thoroughly... Well, I'd not... That is to say, as long as you... Just make sure you give the lad time to prepare. We know who'll be upset if he's not ready to paint at a moment's notice. Whatever you say, darling. So, shall we pick out some jewelry next? Lady Chai has a very particular sense of beauty, and apparently that extends to how I should dress whilst painting. But this obsession of hers works in our favor. The time I spend indulging these distractions is time you can use to continue your explorations. For this excursion, I'd like you to delve into the lair below us and sniff about the military headquarters. I'm sure the understory has its own tale to tell. You're one of the bonded, aren't you? Like me? Please, I need your help. My throat, I can't sing anymore. I've been making excuses, but it's just not getting any better. If my patron thinks I'm of no use to him, then I need you to sneak out to the derelicts and describe my condition to Thorich. Here's a list of symptoms and a hunk of meal to pay for his medicines. Please, I have no one else to turn to. Okay. Hee, you need medicines? Tonics? Potions? Here's some symptoms, here's some meal. A cure for an ailing voice, is it? No medicine will cure this. Methinks your songbird has a lump in her throat. It must be cut out, excised, and even then the voice may never heal completely. Hee, poor little songbird. Will they kick her from the nest, I wonder? Or simply silence her chirps? Oh, your face! You didn't know? Of the many hopefuls who enter the city, very few are ever seen to leave, even as corpses. Oh, you might see one or two fortunate fools hurled from the balconies, but the rest? Gone. A town of nightmares it is. Not for this ship's rat. Oh, no. I am content to scurry around down here and nibble on the crumbs which fall from the table. This consultation is over. You have my verdict, and I have my meal. Good day. Did you get my medicine? He said you need an operation or something. So that's it. What am I to do if I can't sing? Ah, there you are, my sweet canary. Have you been crying again? Don't tell me your voice is still not on the mend. Oh, generous sir, have mercy. I've done all I can, but even the apothecary said... So, you've been suffering all this time. I am sorry, my pet. I hadn't realized your affliction was this grave. But you needn't fret. I'll not reward your hours of trilling by casting you out into the street. You are too kind, sir. But what use am I if I cannot sing? I fear the day I become more burden to you than treasure. Then I shall have a word with Lord Vothry and arrange for your ascension. In that paradise where resides neither pain nor illness will your song ring out clearly once again. Or mayhap you think it a step too far. No, you would do that for me? Of course. Why, I would almost wish to hasten my own ascension, knowing your blessed instrument was waiting there to greet me. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Ascension... sounds like sending you on your way to the afterlife. Ah, you must be a new arrival. Allow me to explain. As all know, the Sin Eaters exist to devour the sinful, but also do they serve to gather the souls of the innocent and shepherd them unto celestial paradise. It is through Lord Vothry that we learn this truth. It is through Lord Vothry's grace that the free people of Eulmore are destined to embrace salvation. We are blessed to spend our days surrounded by love and merriment, until at last we are called to our final rapture. Even the bonded may find a place within that host, should their patrons deem them worthy. Lord Vothry truly is a great man, isn't he? Now, if you will excuse us, we must be on our way. May you find eternal salvation for the compassion you have shown my precious canary. Bad feeling about that. Alright, back to Mr. Alphinaud. "'Tis good to see you back. You were taking so long I began to worry something had happened. I've been sketching an outline for the portrait, but nay, the chies appear otherwise occupied. Will you share what your investigations have gleaned thus far?" "Yeah, you're not going to like this, but..." "So, Lord Vothry boasts some manner of influence over the Sin Eaters, does he? That would explain the reverence in which he is held by the citizenry. And as for this ascension business, I cannot help but be put in mind of that apothecary and his ominous remarks. If so many folk have entered the city over the years, then where do they go?" Precisely. Here we go. Got Arcane Circle, which I think I already put on there somewhere. Yep. Already there. Increased damage dealt. Yeah, there we go. Alright, well, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and just end the stream here for today, I think. I wanted to make it all the way through, and we are almost all the way through this little leg of the main story here, but yeah, we'll just save it for tomorrow. Start again same time tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And let's see here. Oh, it's my pleasure, Lily. I'm going to see if there's somebody I can raid out to here. Who would I like to head off to? Anybody doing anything similar? Oh, I need to show Purple Plague Gaming some love again, I think, here. They are...
Have you been craving a backyard burger?
Let me turn that off. They're playing Destiny 2, but send folks off to them for a bit and see how they're doing today. And I think I must have. Oh, that was crazy. I didn't go to the right place there. Try that again. All right. There we go. Got it. All right. Well, that'll be set up. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. And we'll be raiding over to Purple Plague Gaming here.